What is creative lettering? And what does it mean to illustrate letters or words? We're going to be talking about the answers to both of these questions in our upcoming lesson in the art room. I want to show you some examples first. All of these different images I found on a simple Google search. I looked up creative lettering and I found a whole variety of images that artists have made. As you can see, these are a lot of different letters that artists have taken the simple letters they learned how to write from an early age, just like you did, and they turn them more into drawings. They add colors, they add shapes, lines, lots of different designs to their simple letter. Some of these letters you can see illustrate a certain word. And what do I mean by illustrate? Well, if you have a book and you have an illustration, it's a picture that describes the words or what's going on in the story. Well, they have used these letters and drawn them as pictures to illustrate what the words mean. With music, you can see they have just simple white block letters, but then around the letters in the negative space, they filled in with all kinds of images and pictures to make music more obvious of what that means. In the middle image at the top, you can see all different shaped words. And these, they've used different colors and shapes to draw the word and illustrate it. But you too can do creative lettering just like these artists have done. All it takes is practice. I want you to pull out your learning guide. That's the piece of paper in your packet that says creative name lettering at the top. And find the section that says no, just like at the top of this slide. And you are going to fill in the definitions to your vocabulary words. The first one is creative lettering. Drawing your letters in a more creative, imaginative way using different shapes, lines, and designs. Now remember, you can always pause this video if you need more time to copy down the definition. And if you need to go back and look at it later, it will be available on my website. So just to review, creative lettering is drawing your letters in a more creative, imaginative way, using different shapes, lines, and designs. Illustrating words or letters. This is drawing a picture to describe your word or letter, but using the letters you've already drawn. This could be block letters or bubble letters or simple line letters. An example would be the word snakes. You would then take each letter of the word snakes and turn the actual letter into the image or picture of a snake. So you'd be illustrating the word. Soccer. You could change the O and the C's into soccer balls, and that would help illustrate that word. The next vocabulary word is theme. A theme is the subject of your artwork. It's the big idea that helps describe your letter illustrations. Copy those down on your learning guide, and we'll keep moving forward. Drawing your letters and words with a theme in mind can be a little tricky at first, it might seem. But all you have to do is come up with things that you like. What do you love to draw? What are things that you like to think about? What is a big idea that all of your letters can be tied to? Here's some examples. You could draw your word describing summer. What you love to do in the summer, what you love to eat in the summer. You could do a word about the zoo or the circus and turn each letter into an animal. You could make it all about art and turn each letter into an art supply or something that has to do with art that you like to make. With reading, turn your letter into a book. You could talk about your favorite video game or TV show with some brainstorming and then turn each letter into a character or something from those shows or games. Under the sea, sports, or really anything that makes you happy. I wanted to show you some student examples of what they've done. Each of these students have taken their name and made them into creative letters. So they chose a theme and then drew them based off of the theme. So each letter was turned into a different picture that went with that theme, whether it was art supplies or monsters or the American flag. One student even did candy, or you can see the under the sea theme. You can even turn your little letters into people. As you can see, some of these didn't get quite finished, but we're going to be talking more about that. And it's all different steps of the process. Now it's your turn. We're going to talk more about how you get started. Now I'm going to show you how to get started with practicing your creative lettering. You need to go ahead when you get to your table and grab two things. You need your empty grid that comes with your learning guide that we just wrote definitions on, but you also need a letter packet. And this shows you examples of how to draw bubble letters and block letters and a few other things. So once you have your grid, let's go ahead and look through our packet. These packets will be on your table, like I said. They're for you to use in the classroom unless we've made other arrangements. I'd rather them not go home so we all have enough to use. So this packet shows you how to draw bubble letters, block letters. This page kind of shows you how to take your normal letters that you write and turn them into block letters. And then at the bottom, they show you how you could even make them into cartoon letters, which is pretty cool. The next page shows you how to embellish your letters. These letters are basically just block letters, and they've added lines and shapes and different kinds of designs to make them a little extra creative or using their imagination. And this is a great example for you to see for creative lettering. The last page is a fun page because it shows you more of that word or letter illustration that I was talking about, drawing your letters into pictures. But I want you to focus on one thing first. At the top it says, I can't draw until I practice. And this is something we really want to remember as we're practicing and learning how to do creative lettering. It takes time. The more you draw them, the better you'll get. Just like if you were drawing an animal or a house or whatever it might be. When we start to learn to draw something, you have to practice. But this page has some great examples of how you can get even more creative with the shapes and pictures. Okay, so to get started, you want to grab your empty grid, and this is where you're going to start to practice your letters. Whether you want to start with the bubble letters or the block letters, it's up to you. But as you get started, put one letter in each block, and you want to have one full grid finished of block letters, just like I do here. And then you'll have another grid of your bubble letters. Then I'll also give you some little mini grids. That's part of your learning guide. And on the last page, you're going to have these little mini grids, so you can practice your name or different kinds of embellished letters, if you will. So as you get started working, I'm going to be playing lots of different videos on how to draw each individual letter. So as you're practicing, you can always look back to my videos on my website, and I'm going to show you just 3 letters at a time and how to draw those. Good luck. I can't wait to see what creative letters you make.